Hey guys, Cobalion is out in Legendary Arena, and today I'll be teaching you guys how to beat Cobalion in the very hard difficulty. Without further ado, let's delve into Cobalion's mechanics. By default, Cobalion starts with Healthy Advantage 8 in all of his 3 HP bars, which reduces damage taken by 80% when he's not afflicted with a status. That's why you need to use status ailments against him. And unlike other legendaries, Cobalion starts with low status resistance. He starts with Lesson Paralysis 1, Lesson Burn 7, Lesson Poison 9, and no sleep resistance at the start. However, his status resistance gradually increases each time he recovers from status conditions. For example, he starts with no sleep resistance, but his Lesson Sleep number gradually increases from 1 to 3 to 6 and eventually becomes immune to sleep with Wide Awake. The same goes for the other status conditions. Now let's move on to his HP specific mechanics. For Cobalion's first HP bar, he starts with Discourage 2, which reduces the special attack of all enemy sync pairs by 2 whenever you start a match with him in his first HP bar. At the 50% mark, he gets plus 3 accuracy, gradual healing, and recovers from his current status condition. Status conditions are always dispelled whenever Cobalion reaches 50% HP or the next HP bar. For Cobalion's second HP bar, he gets critical nicks and all his temporary buffs get dispelled, which means his healing will fade as well. And from his second HP bar onwards, he gets Sync Cure whenever he uses his sync moves, which removes existing status conditions. And at the 50% mark, he gets plus 3 attack and recovers from his status condition again. As for Cobalion's third HP bar, he starts using Sacred Sword, a physical move with higher damage, and gains Defense Crush 9, which has a 100% chance to lower your defense by 1, unless you have Unbending of course. And this is minor, but he also gets Beef Up 1, with a 20% chance to increase his attack whenever he gets hit. And at the 50% mark, he gets plus 1 critical hit rate. And that's all for Cobalion's HP specific mechanics. Regarding Cobalion's moves, he uses 99% physical moves, including his sync move as well. As for why I say it's 99%, it's because there's one time it used Swift at the start of his second HP bar with critical hit nicks. So based on his moves, I recommend you to choose a sync pair that can buff defense. Now let's move on to damage over time. There's several moves that can deal damage over time to Cobalion, and they are Poison or Belly Poison, Burn, and Trap. Strictly speaking, Heal counts as well, but it has limited usage, so I won't mention it too much. Poison and Trap deals 798 damage each time Cobalion makes a move. Burn deals 1198 damage, and Heal deals 998 damage. Badly Poison damage just increases over time from 398 to 798 to 1198 and so on. Note that Cobalion's status resistance will gradually increase each time he recovers from status conditions, so he eventually gains status immunity depending on which status you apply. However, Flinch, Trap, and Confusion do not count as status conditions, so they can be applied infinitely. Okay, now let's move on to the battle plan. For his inherent stat defenses, he has Trained Body 8 and Trained Mind 8, which mitigates the reduction of defense and special defense by 80% respectively. So defense debuffs wouldn't be significant. He also has Stout Heart 3, Steady Resolve 5, and Sudden Sprint 5, which mitigates the reduction of attack by 30% and the reduction of special attack and speed by 50% respectively. Unlike his Iron Defense, attack and speed debuffs work really well on him, especially attack debuffs. So I'll recommend you to lower his attack first for your first team to make it easier later, since stat debuffs are permanent throughout his 3 HP bars. Therefore, for your first team, your aim is to reduce his attack to -6 while dealing as much damage as possible. You could use Granbull for this, but I'll recommend you to use a poison debuff strategy instead. The poison debuff team I use consists of Wheezing, Aeriados, and Survivor, but if you don't have Survivor, you can use Masquerade instead, since it's just there to deal trap damage. At the start, you should start the game with Wheezing's Poison Gas and whatever trap move you have, and buff Aeriados' speed at the start. Afterwards, spam Venom Drench to get Cobalion to -6 attack, -6 special attack, and -6 speed, while dealing as much damage as you can with trap and poison. And also remember to reapply the trap condition after 5 turns. Once your debuff team has done their part, move on to your second team. Your second team use a damage duel team which employs a guaranteed status condition. It can be poison, burn, or paralysis, but not sleep yet. Sleep should be reserved for later unless you're 100% sure you can finish him before he gets sleep immunity. Cobalion should be around 50% HP right now. So for your second team, your aim is to get Cobalion to his second HP bar. You can choose between poison, burn, or paralyze here, and you should save sleep for later. Using poison, burn, or paralyze here is good because they are permanent status conditions that do not dispel over time. And Cobalion doesn't have Sync Cure until his second HP bar, so Sync moves won't be able to dispel them. In my case, since I've already used poison in previous round, I'm going to use Paralyze next. Paralyze helps to further reduce Cobalion's speed after -6 speed, and has a chance to prevent Cobalion's moves from succeeding. The team I use for my second round is Meowstic, Pikachu, and Nosepass. Meowstic's for applying paralysis and confusion, while Nosepass is for special attack buffs and a bit of tanking. Since we're still on Cobalion's first HP bar, he still has Discourage 2, which reduces special attack by 2 counts. So I'll need an allied special attack buff as well as Pikachu's own buff to get to +6 special attack. And Nosepass is good because he can buff speed as well as defense for faster move gauge and higher survivability. If you have other strikers, go ahead and use them. But I'm using Pikachu because of its Paralysis Synergy 5 and because it's free to play. And the fact that Cobalion's Sync move can bring Pikachu straight to Power Reserve's HP threshold is a plus as well. And that's guaranteed 290% damage. Otherwise, you can use your second best striker here, and if possible, use a physical striker instead, because of Discourage 2. For Paralysis, you can use Meowstic or Veleplume, but I chose Meowstic because of its higher speed. Cause I was worried my move gauge might not be fast enough, and he also has a bit of heal. He also has heals as well, self heals. But Veleplume is certainly an optimal pick here since she can tank really well, and her Sync moves deal more damage when the enemy is paralyzed. And Energy Ball can reduce special defense as well. As for your last and third Sync pair, you should choose one with ally buffs and fill the move gauge, and if possible, a tank as well. I tried using Superior, but because Aerial Ace is super effective against her, she's not that viable. And that's it for the second team. For your third team, you should consist of a Sleeper, Striker, and your healing buffer come tank. For your Sleeper, anyone with Sleep move would do, but one with the lucky skill, Troublemaker, would be ideal to guarantee sleep accuracy. Otherwise, you could pair your Sleeper with an accuracy buffer if necessary. In my case, I used Gengar because I don't have any Sleeper with Troublemaker, and Gengar has the highest speed. He even has Lick with a chance to induce paralysis. As for your Striker, just choose your strongest Striker here. Ideally, it should be Fire type since you can do 2 times super effective damage, and in that case, Infernape and Torkoal would be good free-to-play options. And Torkoal is especially good since you can induce the burn condition after Cobalion gains Wide Awake. And as for your third Sync pair, choose someone who can buff defense and heal. And in my case, it's Swana. She can buff defense, speed, heal, and even has a 1-bar move to spam. You don't have to be precise in your sleep timings here. You just have to sleep him whenever he's awake and doesn't have an incoming sync move. If you didn't manage to finish him with your 3rd team, just finish up with your 4th team with paralysis or burn. And that's all for how to beat Cobalion. Very hard for free-to-play newbies with 12 sync pairs or less. And get the medal you've always wanted to have.
And now it's battle time!
Now stay tuned to watch my actual gameplay. I made a few misplays here and there, but I still managed to easily beat Cobalion with a lot of leeway. For my first team, I just used Wheezing, Ariados and Survivor for Debuff. And now for the next match, I use Persian. You know why? Because his sync move is coming. And my next team wouldn't be able to handle it if I tank the sync move right off the bat. So I just put Persian in just to debuff some defenses for fun. Maybe because I may use a physical move later. And that's all for my second team. Okay, that's not called a second team, and this is my official second team right now. With Pikachu, Meowstic, and Nosepass. Actually, Probopass. And now we're on to his second HP bar, and my mission for my second team is complete. Now here's my third team, my sleep team. I use Swana, Infernape, and Gengar. And they're all free to play. Maybe you may not have Gengar, you can use Ramos for sleep. Okay, notice what I did here. Only use the sing move after Hypnosis occurs. For maximum damage. I thought I had this game in the bag, but never did I notice that his Sync Cure removed his burn condition. So I end up using my fourth team, which consists of these three. You can use any sync pair if you want, as long as you can inflict status conditions on Cobalion. So that's all. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe and comment below. Thanks for watching.